Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'll be reviewing the Colourpop Lilac You A Lot palette. As always, I will be including swatches and a makeup look, and if you're interested, then keep on watching. This is a 9-pan palette with shades of lilac, hence the name of this palette. Although Colourpop is not a drugstore brand, they are super affordable as this palette only retails for $14 US. It doesn't have any pressed glitter in it, which is probably a relief for some people, but it does have 4 metallic shades and 5 mattes. If you look at the color story of this palette, you can easily create a pinkish monochromatic look, and of course you can also create a purple or pastel purple monochromatic look, or the mixture of both pink and purple eye makeup looks. So there's actually a lot of different looks you can create with this one palette, but before I show you a makeup look, I'm going to start the video off with swatches from this palette and a little bit description about each of the shades. Starting off with the first shade, Cloud, Colourpop described this shade as an icy lavender with a golden flip. It is more of a pastel lavender with a metallic finish. I absolutely love shimmer shadows, and this one is very creamy and has a pink undertone. I think this would look beautiful all over the lid. Imagine that is a pastel lavender with a cool undertone and a matte finish. It is more of a mauvey rosy hue, and I think this would make a great transition shade. It is a very pigmented shade, but you would probably need several applications to build up the coverage. I find this shade very easy to work with minimal fallout. Ghostin is a vibrant pinky lilac shade with a matte finish. I can see that this shade has a pink and warm undertone. I find this shade quite light, and you really need to apply it several times to build up the coverage. Because of the light coverage, it makes a great transition shade and would be a shade that I would apply as a base for all my other shadows to go on top. Wake Me is an orchid shade with duochrome hot pink flip. It looks like a bright magenta color and slightly looks similar to the shade above, except that it has a metallic finish. I do see little specks of bluish violet shimmer shifting, and it has a creamy texture with barely any fallout. Fluff is an icy metallic violet with a gold and silver accent. I would say that this looks like the deepest shimmer shade in the palette, but when I swatch it, it isn't as dark as I thought it would be, but it is still a stunning purple shimmer shadow. This shade swatched very well, and I believe this color would look beautiful all over the eyelid for that monochromatic look. Trainwreck is a soft lavender with a pink duochrome flip. This is the last shimmer shadow in the palette and has a cool undertone. This shade comes off a bit light, and I find that you really need to build up the coverage. Once you build up that coverage, I think this is a beautiful pastel pink shimmer shade that would look very nice all over the lid. Zoned Out is a dusty pink mauvey shade. I would say that this is one of my favorite pastel lavender shade in this palette. It took a few applications for an opaque coverage. It is a pretty light shade, which makes a good transition shade or as a base. It has a cool undertone and a matte finish. Iffy is a cool turn purple. This is a very nice pop of purple shade when you want to make it obvious that you are wearing purple eyeshadow. I love the shade as it seems more of a solid color. This does have a matte finish and would be a great shade to deepen up the crease. Filtered is a red plum shade and is one of the deeper shades in this palette, so I would say that it can be used to deepen up the crease or to apply to the outer third of your eyes to create more definition. I did see specks of shimmer in the pan, but once applied to the eyes, it has more of a matte finish, and I feel it has more of a warm undertone. After my swatches, I find that the mattes were very powdery and there were some fallout, but not too much compared to the other matte shadows in the other Colourpop palette. Nevertheless, the matte still blends very well. The shimmers are stunning with barely to no fallout. I love that the shimmer shades are very creamy and very easy to use. They blend very nicely together with the mattes. Now let's move on to the makeup look. I'm going in with my MAC 217 brush to pick up Imagine That and brushing that all over my lid and above my crease. This will be my transition shade for all the other eyeshadows. I'm also taking this shade underneath my lower lash line. I will be using the same brush, but this time I'll be dipping the tip of the brush into Iffy and patting that color onto my crease but below my transition shade, and then blending that out in a back and forth motion. You can see that there is a slight transition and it gives my crease a bit more depth and really brings out that purple tone. I'm going to pinch my brush and also apply this shade to my lower lash line. Then I'm going in with a more narrow brush and picking up Filtered. In a patting motion, I want to pack this shade onto the outer corner of my eyes and define it a little bit more. You can see that the shade Filter is not much different from the shade Iffy. It did deepen up my outer corner a little bit, but not by much, so even the darkest shade in this palette is actually pretty light. I'm going to pinch my brush again and apply this as close to my lash line as I can. Now I'm going to take my Lancome No. 12 brush to pick up Fluff and patting this all over my lid space. I'm using this brush wet to minimize fallout and also to make this shade stand out. I'm just picking up Trainwreck with my Sigma E30 pencil brush and applying that to the inner corner of my eyes and blending it in with Fluff so that there is a bit of a transition. I've been loving the Lavore eyeliner stamp lately, so I'm going to use that to stamp a wing, and then using the other end to clean up the wing and line my lash line. Now I'm going to curl my lashes, apply mascara to my upper and lower lashes, and lastly apply my false lashes off camera, and now this is the completed look. Overall, I love all the shades in this palette, and I'm hoping to create more looks with the colors in here. And I also find that the palette does contain a nice mixture of warm and cool tones. If you're a person that loves purpley lilac color, then I think this would be a great palette to pick up since it does contains all the shades of lilac in this one palette. Let me know your thoughts on the Colourpop Lilac You a Lot in the comment section below. I hope you all enjoyed this review, and if you do, don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!